Howdy, hotheads. Kurt Money here, alongside my co-host,
Kateline.
And we are here on the very first episode of Murder Mystery Recaps with Kurt Money and Kateline. Mm-hmm. See, do I say that? What do you think?
Yeah.
And today we are talking about, this was also user suggested. This was from one of our patrons. I'm not going to say her full name, but her name is Eileen. And she said, we got to watch this Murder, She Wrote episode from season 10. And now I'm a big Murder, She Wrote head. I'm burning through the blues. I've yet to party with season 10, so there was a lot of whoa dudes happening for me that started with the title sequence. Seeing JB type on a computer and printing it out, I was like, no!
Yeah. It's shockingly modern.
Yes. Oh my God. And it starts on the typewriter, so you think you're in a safe space, and then all of a sudden, it's 93. So they had to get with it, I suppose. But we are talking about this wonderful, wonderful episode called A Virtual Murder. And I'll read the first, I'm going to read this description I have of it on my Tracked website because it's so wrong.
Let's hear it.
Okay, this aired Halloween night, 1993.
Spooky.
Yeah. Okay, Jessica is fascinated by a demo of a VR game based on her book. But while playing it, she thinks she sees a real murder. Yeah, count the ways in which that's wrong. One, she wrote it for the game. This was not a book.
No.
Correct?
She doesn't see a murder. That's not at all what this is about.
Not at all. So I don't know what that's about. I'll get a real one for the people that aren't going to watch the show. Okay, here we go. This one's a little better. This one's from the Goog. Jessica happens on a computerized clue to a murder while writing a mystery story for a friend's interactive video game company. So, Kate, before we go down this beat by beat, tell me, what did you think of A Virtual Murder?
Well, this episode is one of many weird virtual reality type stories that took place in the 90s. I don't know why this was such a trope for TV shows, but there's always an episode where people go into a game.
Yeah.
The way that television writers completely misunderstood what video game development looked like. This should be studied.
Yeah, it's something else, isn't it? I mean, you know how many movies I have on Blu-ray because they did this in the early 90s, where it's like virtuosity, giant mnemonic. Oh, and of course, Lawnmower Man, where they think like, this is the whole new world, and I'm the god of this world, and it's nothing but laughable.
Mm-hmm.
Virtual reality is not just a simulation. It's a whole other world, a new electric dimension.
It's nothing but hilarious, and it's not fair to them, because they lived in 1993. But to our modern eyes, they can't nail any of this, obviously, right? It's like everything that they choose, I'm like, meh.
The idea that it would take a whole war room full of people to design a game right up until the second that it's released.
Yeah.
And doing coding, like right up to the minute. This is just, and that this kind of technology never existed.
No. And I mean, that's the best part about this. There's a lot of game footage in here. And guess what? It's not game footage. It's video with a mosaic filter on it. That was a huge laugh for me, right? Every video game we shot, that was just video shot.
Also, what is the game? Because all we see is Jessica just walking around.
In one room. And then there's a hallway. Yeah.
And then there's points accruing at the bottom. What are you getting points for?
Yes. Okay, wait. We're going to spend a good chunk on that because I got so many follow-ups. But let's talk about this opening scene first. And this is when I knew that we were in for a doozy because of how clearly... we open in Cabot Cove, and JB Fletcher is walking with her great friend Seth, the doctor in town. She's explaining to him this gig, and it's basically her telling him what virtual reality is.
This is very fresh. It's a whole new technology, and they call it virtual reality.
They, these computer experts?
And it's also the show going, we must explain to our viewers what this is. So they spend a solid 5 minutes telling us word for word, trying to explain to us what virtual reality is. Am I right?
You're right.
And it's so like obvious. I mean, look, JB's game for it. And she's like, this is cutting edge stuff. We've got to be able to do this or that. And Seth is doing the, let me guess, like he's making Pac-Man references, which is a 10-year-old, 20-year-old game or whatever at this point. Mm-hmm. But he's like, let me guess, it's mindless killing of space invaders or you eat people. And I don't know. I just like, it sucks to be on this side of history, I think, to be this guy saying that.
It does. It sucks to be this wrong.
Yeah. Or perhaps it's the one where one little face goes running around eating up all the other little faces.
Oh, of course not.
Honestly, it always makes me think of what am I doing to that now? What's going to make me the Seth in the future? You know what I mean?
AI?
Maybe. What's unbelievable is AI plays a part in this freaking episode. They actually talk about artificial intelligence, which is pretty funny. Now, they said it would be a few years, 30 years later. But anyway, so they were right about that a little bit.
Give artificial intelligence a few more years, and there won't be anything a computer can't be programmed to think out more efficiently than the human mind.
So she's going for a walk, and it is not entertaining. This is not a fun scene. Am I right?
No, it's boring as hell. I was mostly just paying attention to all the background extras.
Yeah.
They really spent a lot of money on this.
That looks like, so sometimes they'd use, I assume, the Jaws area ride on Universal for some stuff for Cabot Cove.
Amity, of course, looking beautiful this morning. It's her on your right side.
I'm with you. I'm much more obsessed with like the signage behind them. And then the best part is every time Seth gets to talk, it's annoying shit that we're saying. But you can tell in the scene, his dialogue continued. But they cut his ass. They crossed us all from him to a plane flying.
Turned it into virtual reality. The game's called A Killing at Hastings Rock.
So how long do you think that fucking scene was originally?
Too long. Or they wanted us to think he just kept talking forever.
I think it was too subtle for that. That'd be funny too. It was reverse on him. So I'm not sure they wanted us to notice, but you know I did. And I was like, something tells me.
Yeah.
That guy had more lines here, and he was watching going, wait, wait a minute, what happened? Also, I love, they've got to set up for us who it is that she's going out to see. She's telling Seth, oh, you know who it is. It's so-and-so's son. He's out in Silicon Valley making a game. I'm shocked it wasn't a niece or nephew. That's usually the go-to for an MSW.
Sure.
And not just Grady. She probably has 30 or 40 nieces and nephews that she goes to. And I get it. I mean, I'm reading a book by the guy who created this show, and he was saying how they purposely didn't give her a husband or kids to lock her down. Like, they didn't want people to go like, doesn't she have to do this other stuff? And I'm kind of like, yeah, right on. But they fixed that by going like, okay, but her niece knows the guy, and she's going to go visit, and somebody's going to accidentally die.
Always.
So she's flying out to see this guy, Michael, played by Kevin Sorbo.
Ugh.
Ew, says Kate.
Gross.
Is that based on his opinions, or do you think he's ugly?
I have never been a Hercules gal.
Yeah, I've never
I
watched
partied with Xena, but not Hercules. Intentionally. Like, ew, Hercules, no.
Yeah.
And then come back for Xena.
Nice handoff.
I'm much different now. I will admit, as a kid, when Xena was on or Hercules, I'd roll my eyes and go like, lame. Because remember, I was also saying I didn't party with MSW because I was like, that's granny content. I'm not watching a show about a granny. And clearly I was in the wrong. But I just want to be forthright with you, Kate.
Yeah.
Good, honey.
So we cut to Silicon Valley. We see the exterior. The game place that we're going to be at for this whole episode is called Marathon Incorporated. That's the name of this gaming company, right? And we see an establishing shot, and it's absolutely beautiful. And now Hotheads might be like, why, Kurt, are you spending so much time on this location?
Because it's the Tillman Water Reclamation Center in Van Nuys, California.
Oh, you knew the name. thought you were going to say Starfleet. Did you look it up, or tell me you recognized it, right?
Kurt, I've been there.
Oh!
You can take tours of it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's a fucking boom. You went for Star Trek purposes, I assume.
Yeah, it is Starfleet Academy.
Awesome.
They have signage up in the parking lot with photos from the shows.
Do they? That is cool. Wow, Kate. I took a screenshot and did like Google Lens to find out what it was because it was looking familiar to me. Now, I'm not in season 5 TNG, so it's not Starfleet to me. I knew it as where Wesley gets arrested.
Biodome.
No, he gets arrested for killing the plants. And remember, this is like a super safe place, and that's because they kill anyone that breaks a law. It was in season 1. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but I just assumed you knew it from Biodome.
I love Biodome, but I haven't seen Biodome in ages, and I thought that place was in Arizona.
Well, they used some exteriors.
Okay, you got to give me something for name checking this season 1 TNG. Okay, I'm shocked that you're like cutting me off to talk about Biodome. I don't get it.
I don't think this is a mall.
Well, I'm not really down with season 1.
Yeah, but do you know the ep I'm talking about? They wore crazy revealing outfits
I do
and
know.
stuff, and they'd be running around.
I do know.
Okay, all right.
When in Rome, eh? When where, sir?
Anyway, that's cool. I had no idea you'd friggin' been there.
But yeah, they have a beautiful Japanese garden, and that's been in everything.
All right, hit it.
Because it's a water reclamation plant, they're treating sewage. It smells absolutely disgusting.
Really?
Yeah. So every time you see a show where it takes place there, Just think about how the actors are like not having a good time.
Wow, is that why they made it so cool looking? They're like, we've got to balance this because it's going to really stink.
Maybe.
Something tells me we're doing this all wrong.
And this is Kevin Sorbo with all of his cronies. They're working on this game. And we cut to JB. And where's JB at, Kate? Where's she at right now?
She's in the mainframe.
She's a VR booth. She's got the getup on, doesn't she? Tell us about this look.
She's got these gloves that do things.
Yep.
She's got this headset. I mean, it's not totally far off. You need like joysticks in your hand. You need a headset. So that is what VR still is to this day. But it looks crazy.
Now, it's not a headset. It's like chunky Oakley's kind of.
Sure.
One thing they don't have, there was no treadmill, which they absolutely needed. They probably were like, we don't need to get that deep. What do you think? They're like handlebars and stuff.
Yeah, because the whole game she's walking around, but she's not moving.
So we're like in the POV of Jessica playing this game, and she is loving every minute of it. Okay, she goes, ooh, here we go. Oh, this is exactly what I imagine Hastings Rock to look like. And I want to go like, you described it as checkered floors with yellow doors and red handles. That's what you asked for, like a Ronald McDonald vibe in here.
You wanted it to look like a nightmare and pixelated video.
It's crazy. And she is so impressed. And look, there are a lot of characters in this episode, but we all know who Michael is because she says the name Michael, 10 times in the first 60 seconds.
Every line.
Michael, this is wonderful. Oh, Michael, this is exactly how I envisioned it.
My compliments, Michael, James, everyone.
Now, this is one of two looks that she serves in the VR booth. And I say serves because, Kate, I wish I was a drag queen. I would get myself on Drag Race, okay? And for one of the competition looks, I would serve up JB Fletcher in a VR booth. Could you see this walking down the runway? Am I right?
Fierce.
Dude, if somebody did that, it would crush. Somebody could do it for the, is it Snatch Game where they dress up like a celeb and stuff?
I'm not familiar with Drag Race.
Okay, well, I believe it is. But I could absolutely, like, they'd probably make the shoulder pads bigger and whatever. But I'm telling you, this look would crush. Because the glasses are kind of cool looking. They've got like the middle of them look all Oakley-ish, and then it's like black plastic. But I don't know. She was looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Eh?
I'm into it.
Shantae, you stay.
JB's loving it, but she's like talking to a character in the game, and she starts to glitch. And I loved her reaction. Because she goes, did I do something wrong?
No, JB, the game is just shitty. You didn't do anything wrong.
Have I done something wrong?
Kevin Sorbo's going, no, Jessica, that's okay. That's an error. And then this little whiz kid who's 16, Alex, okay, he's going to play a big part here. This was another thing that if you were doing anything about hacking or VR or computers, you had this little know-it-all whiz kid. Mm-hmm. Had to.
Yep.
And he tries to tell Kevin Sorbo, who's Michael, he's like, dude, I tried to tell you this wouldn't work. And Sorbo's like, shut it.
Yeah.
No, sir. The glitch is in the program. I tried to tell you that, but...
Hold it, Alex, please.
So what'd you think of Alex? Like, you saw that and you were like, well, we needed him. Like, you knew this guy was going to be in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I was just watching the movie The Core.
The Core? What's that?
From the early 2000s or late 90s. It's instead of Armageddon going out into space, it's going to the center of the planet.
Ooh, oh, the Earth's core.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Come on, baby. Come on, Daddy wants to see this guy again.
It is atrocious, but they got DJ Qualls up in there playing exactly this character.
Wow. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. DJ Qualls.
Okay. I know these look like computers. Totally not.
He's got to hack the mainframe.
Of course he does. Oh my God. Save it. Save it, Kate. I can't.
I took the liberty of hacking into the FBI.
Zip it.
The game is busted and they're like, JB, come on out. And she gets to witness the team try and troubleshoot this. Like, how do we fix this? There's something wrong with this servant girl character. And there's this other guy, his partner in this is James Lindstrom, who I think we'll just call Lindstrom from here. But he's your grade A dickhead. And if you are a fan of MSW, right off the bat, you're going, oh, this is the guy who's going to die. Because they love to kill the asshole. Mm-hmm. They love to kill the asshole. And this guy is fitting the bill, isn't he?
He looked like, who do you remind me of? Maybe like Rufus Sewell.
Was he the bad guy in Knight's Tale?
I have no idea.
Because I was going to say it's a young Ian McShane and the bad guy from A Knight's Tale. And goddamn, if it isn't Rufus Sewell in that movie.
Let me look. Off to the goog.
To the goog. This will only be the second time we've matched people before, I think.
Yeah. Looks like it's him.
Totally. Absolutely.
A literary solution to a binary problem. It might work.
He tells everybody that he's a genius. He wants everyone to know that this is all because of him and his code. Only he controls and won't let anyone see, and he created it, and no one can crack his mind. He's just a genius.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, then why is it glitching 10 seconds into the game?
Great question. And look, I don't have a background in this side of computer stuff, like the coding or video game stuff, but something tells me you wouldn't be able to make a game and be the guy. There's one guy with a floppy disk that has to come in every morning and put it in and go, okay, now we can continue.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we learned about this guy. It's his source code that builds the game, but he doesn't let anybody else see it. That sounded pretty crazy.
That is not going to get that company any investors.
Oh, really? What investors want to see the source code?
Investors aren't going to invest in something that only one person can control.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I didn't think you could build a game with that. Like, can't start working until Lindstrom plugs in the floppy disk. Like, that just sounds...
That's not how technology works. I mean, once you have the game up and running, it exists.
Yeah. But look, it's important to know that that's how this game operates. So Lindstrom is a necessary component of Michael's success. And for, what's it called? Oh, Marathon Incorporated's success. It's funny. They spend so much time. There are multiple other scenes where they describe how VR works and how the game works.
The risk is that sometimes reprogramming one element creates a kind of snowball effect, a cascade of glitches that messes up the whole program.
They were so obsessed with telling us how VR works, but the murder and everything is confusing as hell. Are you with me there?
Mm-hmm. I am 100% with you, and I'm hoping that you can handle this play-by-play, because at some point I was like kind of lost.
I couldn't believe it. I only grasped it the third time I watched it. And I was like, this should not be it. Because we're getting into it, but I was shocked at the mistakes they made with the murder and how the murder is solved. And yet there was so much time in the TRT given to, okay, but a VR, the players get to choose the action. In a book, they read the action.
Totally. I mean, I looked at the timestamp. The murder doesn't happen until like 30 minutes in.
Yeah, it does kind of take a while, doesn't it?
And it's only 45 minutes long.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Boy, I can't wait to the murder. I've got multiple issues. So they're trying to fix this thing. They're arguing it's not working. So they're telling Jessica to try it again. This is the first time we hear, here's another one of the crazy confusing things, is we hear what I assume is a voice over the loudspeaker telling Alex that his mother called and you need to call him back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and while that's true, they all also have color-coded beepers that they all wear that also has a voice play a message, which is not how beepers work.
That's not how beepers work. I was very confused by that. They were all just like little speakers.
Yeah, and so one, it's insane. This guy Alex is an intern. They say intern. It's wild that the head of the co-head of the company designed these beepers because he was annoyed that Alex's mother called so many times.
Why don't you just be a good little intern and call your mother?
No one ever says, hey, tell your mom to cool it, Alex.
Right.
Like everybody's way too cool with the fact that 10 times a day we hear, Alex, your mom wants you to come home for supper.
And the beepers didn't solve that problem because he leaves it behind. So when you're hearing that message, it's over the loudspeaker and everyone hears it. It's not coming from his beeper because they make a whole point about how he's like, I keep leaving it places.
He does. Now, this was one of the things where on the third watch I grasped it. The male voice that we hear, when it's a male voice, that's from the beeper.
Alex Porter, please return your mother's call.
Damn it.
When it's a female voice, that's from the loudspeaker.
Any high school hacker would have...
Alex, will you please remember to keep your beeper with you?
Why they gave the audience this trouble, I have no idea. Because notice the guy, Lindstrom, picks it up and he goes, you leave your beeper here. He said that because he heard that message from that beeper.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was over the loudspeaker.
Also, the beepers have nothing to do with the murder. I thought him leaving a beeper behind and not keeping it on him was going to be a plot point.
Especially when they do a close-up of Lindstrom going, you forgot your beeper again. And it's him holding a red, looks pink sometimes, beeper close up for the camera.
You left your pager again, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things that I love to do on MSW. I don't often guess who the killer is because a lot of times the thing that makes someone clearly the killer could also clearly make them the red herring.
Yeah.
These shows, the writers are trying to trick you and stuff, and that's the fun of it. But what I am pretty good at is catching the thing that is planted in the beginning that's going to matter for the murder later. I'm good at catching that, and I thought the same thing here. Now, the beepers do come into play with the murder. They do, and it's got nothing to do with Alex's mother or Alex's beeper at all.
Mm-mm.
At all.
That's a red herring.
Yeah. You know what, Kate? You're right. You're right there. I mean, is that what it is? I think it really like handicaps this episode because I was like, I can't believe this is important and stuff because they don't make it clear at all.
I bet this episode was a nightmare to edit.
I bet. Right? I bet it was. Alex suggests getting rid of the character altogether, right? Because Lindstrom's like, why don't you be a good intern and stay in the background? But an intern that I devised a beeper program for as well.
Sure. And we all have to participate because of this child.
Yeah, and then he doesn't use it ever. But yes, he's still here, this intern. What about when he leaves in 4 months? They gonna still do the beeper system? Or
it's a great question.
Right? But this gets JB thinking. She goes, wait a minute. I could write out the servant girl character altogether, and then that way we don't have to worry about this bug, which for story purposes I think is a good solve. I don't know if it would really solve coding and stuff.
And I love that they're like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And she's like, I better go back to the hotel and really concentrate and get this rewrite done. And it's like,
yep.
Is it that labor intensive?
Well, look, as she says, a lot of those clues and stuff come from the servant girl, right?
And she's got to give them to other people now.
Now, what I wanted to point out was they go, great, Alex, go with her.
Why?
So now she's got to bring this 16-year-old intern while she's writing.
To her hotel room.
Yes.
Why?
I should get back to the hotel if I'm going to start this.
Alex, stay with her.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, wait. Before we go there, we got to say, Lindstrom goes, and hey, Jessica, don't try too hard. You won't win any awards with this.
So rude.
But JB, this is one of the things I love about her, is she's got snapbacks that are solid, but like professional and stuff. But that they burn just as hard as like a mean retort.
Mr. Lindstrom, I'm going to do my best to fix your program.
Boom.
Ooh, boom indeed. Because that is what she's doing, but it's a sick burn on this jerk who's wearing one of those early 90s no-collar things that I don't like.
Listen, I have a saying, never trust a white man in a mandarin collar. Think about it.
Yeah, that's good.
They're always villains.
Before JB heads to the hotel room with the 16-year-old intern, we got to talk about the supporting cast, because we've got Lindstrom, the guy who looks like Rufus Sewell. We got Michael, that's JB's friend, that's Kevin Sorbo, who is painted as like a saint in this episode.
Yeah, but I was skeptical of him from the beginning because it's Kevin Sorbo. So immediately, I don't like the guy, so I'm just like, I don't know. He might be the bad guy.
Oh, really? You were suspicious of him? Well, you know what's funny is they play with a little will they won't they romance thing with one of his subordinates, and that would not be in play with our hero characters today. Like, they act like this is just, hey, work romance, right?
Let's talk about that subordinate.
Okay. The whole team gets together to figure out what's going wrong. And we've got David, who is Jackie Childs from Seinfeld.
It's outrageous, egregious, preposterous.
You wouldn't recognize him because he doesn't sound like Jackie Childs at all in this episode.
Let's just pray it doesn't cost us any money.
And then we've got Kate and Sharon. Sharon is like a curly-haired brunette, and she is sitting there going, it is not my problem. I didn't do it. And the other woman in the group, named Kate, goes up to her and says, hey, relax. Why don't you go, chill out with a coffee or something?
Michael, I want you to understand that
Sharon.
I would never... Get yourself together. Go get a cup of coffee or something.
Ooh. What about this, Kate? What were you thinking here?
I was skeptical of Kate also. She seemed pretty icy.
Yeah.
Sharon, I recognized immediately.
Okay.
Because she plays Christie Masters Christianson in Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion.
Yes, she does. Hell yeah. I gotta fire up a clip for that.
I'm Christie Masters Christianson.
That's amazing. That's funny because I recognized her too. She was in the Frogger episode of Seinfeld.
Well, it was nice meeting you. I'm sure I'll see you...
8 tomorrow?
Actually, that's...
What you were thinking?
Right.
And it's funny to me that there are two people in this room
Seinfeld
that are on Seinfeld. And guess what? There's going to be a third later. Oh, I did like Sharon's diss back to Kate, though, because afterwards, after the meeting breaks up, Kate goes up to Sharon and is like, boy, you must be a masochist or whatever. It's so weird that you put up with Lindstrom just because you love Michael so much and you don't even have a chance.
Yeah.
Right?
It's catty behavior.
And Sharon's retort is another good one. She goes, oh, really? Well, if that were the case, we wouldn't be talking about it then, would we? Sounds like I do have a shot with him.
Boom.
Watching you put up with an SOB like Lindstrom just to be near Michael, when you don't stand a chance.
Well, if that were true, we wouldn't be discussing it now, would we?
The way this turns out in the end, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I got problems with that side of it, too. The things that they set up and stuff, I'm kind of like, okay. Yeah, true. That it was also trouble. Trouble.
When you see her coming, she's always trouble.
Lindstrom's like, oh, okay, I got to peace out for a little bit. We see him walking outside. He's walking towards his car. Beep, beep.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of car was it?
It's a Corvette. Convertible.
A blue Corvette convertible. And you're like, pass, right?
No, it's trashy.
Yeah, not for Kateline.
Nope.
But he hops in, and we see that there's this other stooge in another car looking at him, like taking notes, like following him and stuff. So we're assuming this will probably be a PI. Did you sniff this guy out?
Yeah, whenever you see a dude in like an old car
with sloppy hair,
with a long lens on his camera, you know it's a PI.
And I loved them doing the overlay of the picture taking. And it says like 200 ISO with f-stop 5.6, like the little freeze on the stuff. I love that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Love it, love it, love it. He's sitting there snapping pics. Lindstrom's none the wiser. He pulls out and he drives away. Now we're finally back at the hotel. Jessica's riding away, and there's Alex walking back and forth. And he's being really annoying because he's like bouncing a little ball back to himself. Now I say a little ball. It wasn't a ball. Guess what it was, Kate? Another sign of the times.
Let me think. 93.
I had a bunch of them.
I have no idea.
A hacky sack. Do you remember the hacky sack craze? Do you remember them?
Absolutely.
A lot of times it was given to hippies. Hippies were doing it. However, soccer players.
Oh no,
soccer players did it.
It was all over the playground at school.
Yeah, and I remember he had the kind. There was ones that would come with beans and like some sort of crocheted sack.
Mm-hmm.
He had the kind that looked like a mini soccer ball that would made out of like soft cloth.
Right.
And I had those ones too. And I was looking at him going, oh, I wanted it so bad. I was all over hacky sacking.
Oh, Alex, could you please stop pacing? I'm having enough trouble as it is.
So he sits down and he's complaining about Lindstrom. And we're getting more story. We're getting more exposition here because he's like, that shouldn't have happened, JB. If Lindstrom would have let me look at the source code, I could have tested it. But he watches that under lock and key. He's got it on his person at all times. And then he says, is there like a suspicion gene that kicks in when you turn 25? Lame.
No.
Not funny, Alex. Not funny. He apologized for it too. He goes, sorry, Jessica. I said, good, dude. Because that wasn't funny.
When people turn 25, is there a suspicion gene that suddenly kicks in?
Oh, Alex.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Fletcher.
But then he's there with a solve.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, wow, terrific idea. Thank you, Alex.
She does straight up say, I love how much she was like, thank you for that, right? Like she's giving credit where credit's due.
Of course. Our girl is not greedy.
We're back at the office there, and Michael gets a call on his beeper. Again, this is where it sounds like it would be over the loudspeaker, but it's on his beeper.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Burke, there is a call for you on line 8.
And it's like with an investor or something, right? Because he's like, bring your checkbook.
Yeah.
And then he hangs up, and then we get some excellent quickie exposition with Sharon, right? Because he goes, we've been here before, haven't we? And she's like, in your father's garage? We thought we wouldn't make it then, too.
I thought that was a nod to the early days of Apple.
No doubt, no doubt.
Not the first time we've been here.
Your father's garage?
4 a.m, a virus gobbling up the program.
They get real close, and he goes, that felt like forever ago. And she goes, not to me.
Seems like a lifetime ago.
Not to me.
And they're about to smooch. And again, this is played like, kiss, please.
Yeah.
And then Kate comes in and is like, excuse me. She's total buzzkill, and they don't kiss. But she sees it, right?
And she's pissed.
She's pissed. Did you think that Sorbo was with Sharon? Because I feel like upon rewatch, she wants to be with Sorbo. But I don't think they were like dating or anything.
No, but when she talked about the old days in the garage, I was like, oh, did they used to hook up?
Yeah.
The vibe was weird.
Yeah. You couldn't nail it down, right?
It didn't seem like them being together was not appropriate. It was like you said, we're rooting for it. We're like, okay, yeah, cool. And then Kate comes in and she's now the villain for being like pissed and stopping it.
Yeah. But you're right. It's kind of like, I mean, this is TV roles. Everybody's good looking. But I was like, if he grew up with this babe, like they would have dated. There's no, like, they're too good. Both of them are too good looking to have not
totally
like knocked the boost at some point.
And she's smart.
Yeah. So that was weird.
And they like all the same things.
They should have given her like glasses, you know, like old school shorthand for like things that make people not want to have sex with women. Well, she's got glasses on. Forget it.
Totally.
Right?
Laney Boggs.
Gentlemen, we have a winner. What, Laney Boggs? Do you always wear those glasses?
Yeah, why?
No reason.
We're back with the PI, and he follows Lindstrom to a place called Redwood Concepts. And who's this pulling him behind him but David, aka Jackie Childs? So now these are two people going on a secret meeting behind Michael's back.
At a competitor.
Here's a question. We see a close-up of the Redwood Concept sign. It's like a neon sign. Then we see it in wide. Did they commission that for this episode? Because these were the wild days where they had money to spare. Did they commission that neon sign, or did that already exist?
They probably commissioned it.
Wow. So what happened to it afterwards?
I don't know.
Look, I Googled it. I couldn't find anything of an old Redwood Concepts. I thought for sure it was going to point me to like an office park in Van Nuys or whatever.
I don't know, Kurt, but we got to find that sign. You got to put that in your room.
Yeah. I would totally sport that. People are like, where's that from? You haven't seen the season 10 episode of Murder, She Wrote? Come on. David and Lindstrom are in there talking to this guy. Here's the line of the episode, perhaps. Because Lindstrom did a little homework on this guy. What does he say, Kate? You've already said the line already. Do you remember what he says?
No.
I took the liberty of hacking into the FBI mainframe, and I discovered that you legally changed your name. You were accused of attempted murder.
So much hacking into the mainframe.
I mean, you can't write that line now without it being a joke about that time. But this was when it wasn't hilarious yet. He says it genuinely. So funny.
I took the liberty of hacking into the FBI mainframe.
Oh my God, was I dying. When he started that line, I was like, if this ends with FBI mainframe, I'm going to lose my mind. And he delivered.
There's a line in The Core where DJ Qualls is like, no one controls the net.
We need you to control the flow of information on the internet.
You're dreaming. Nobody controls the net.
Love it. Did DJ Qualls have like a hacker name? Was he like
Anytime I see DJ Qualls in something, he's just DJ Qualls.
Yeah, that's true.
How many languages do you speak?
5, actually.
Well, I speak 1. 10100.
Is he still getting work? Tell me he's on a procedural.
Oh, yeah. Let's look. Off to the Gooch.
To the Gooch. Is he in a show that Jillionaire watches that we don't know exists? Perhaps.
Filmography. Yeah, he's on something called Bookie, a Chuck Lorre show.
What? That's out?
I think it's on HBO Max.
What? The only way there's a show that I've never heard of is if it's in the Power universe on Starz. The amount of shows that happen on Starz in that one little 50-cent produced show. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. That's how I feel about Bosch.
Hey, Bosch rules. Sorry, can't agree with you there, Kate. Bosch fucks.
And Bosch Legacy?
Here's the deal. Bosch Legacy aired on fucking Freevee or whatever, so I never watched it. It's on Prime now. I should peep it. But yeah, I get you there. But wait, hey, Bosch rules, though. You should maybe peep it.
My husband and I have a thing about, what's his name?
Titus Welliver? Is that?
We have a thing about Titus that we'll be watching something old, and he'll roll up. And he's in everything, basically. We were watching Air Force One the other night.
Boom, great example.
He's an extra. He has no lines. He's just standing there.
An extra? Or is he a goon?
No.
He's got to be a goon, right?
No, he is in the war room with the vice president in a military outfit, just standing there. And he just crosses. And we were like, is that fucking Bosch?
No. Contact those F-15s, sir.
I usually give that title to both Breaking Bad alums, but Jonathan Bakes and Dean Norris are two guys that were in so many 80s movies you love that you don't know it until you watch it again after 2008. And you're like, what? He's in like Beverly Hills Cop and stuff.
He was in something the other day that I was watching, and what was it? I'm looking it up.
You gotta tell me.
We were watching Deep Space Nine. He rolled up.
You care to die once again, all you need to do is ask.
So we're at this clandestine meeting, and after Lindstrom drops the bomb that he hacked into the FBI mainframe and he knows everything about him, how this guy changed his name and now is like the head of some software company, I don't know. But the point is, Lindstrom is like, okay, I'll bring my source codes to you, but it's going to cost you an extra $300K. And what's Redwood guy say? He says, not happening. So then Lindstrom goes, also very early 90s, yuppie talk. He goes, all right then, ciao. Ciao.
Ciao.
I was telling you I was watching Beethoven, starring my boy, Charlie Gruds, and your boy, Davey DeCuffs. There's a whole bit where he plays like a dumb yuppie in that. And they're always saying, ciao, ciao bello, ciao bello.
Ciao, George.
Ciao bello.
Ciao, Bello.
Ciao. Ciao.
There's very early 90s, like, shorthand for yuppie prick.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Ciao. So he's out of there. And Redwood guy tells David, he's like, dude, you better get him to give us those codes or you're going to be in physical danger. Like, we're planting the seeds of, okay, who wants to kill some people? And David's like, you know what? I don't have to talk him into it. If I just got you the codes only, then you wouldn't need Lindstrom at all. And that's when we're going, uh-oh, maybe David kills this dude.
If you had Lindstrom's source codes, you wouldn't need him at all.
Back at the office, they're waiting for Lindstrom to show up because JB's on her way with the rewritten story. Michael's like, forget it. He goes to Lindstrom's office and starts rooting through the drawers and stuff. He's looking for the source code, but what does he find?
A gun.
A little baby gun.
It's the tiniest gun you've ever seen.
Yes.
It's like the noisy cricket from Men in Black.
Hey, Kate, no, come on, man. You get a Series 4 deatomizer, I get a little midget cricket. Oh, yeah.
And then that's when Lindstrom comes in and is like, what are you doing in my office?
Uh-oh.
Right? Lindstrom busts him, and he's like, come on, I'll meet you on the bridge. Kate, help me out here. Are they because they're nerds and they're referencing Star Trek?
I was very taken aback by that.
Right?
I thought that's what they call the room where they all work?
Well, I mean, doesn't it make sense as a Star Trek reference, like as a nerd reference?
It does.
That they would refer to it as the bridge. That's like where you do the steering of the ship and stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. It's fine. But, what if you're not familiar with that? And you're like, where? They're going to be on a bridge? I mean, I immediately obviously knew what they were talking about, but...
I'll meet you on the bridge.
They spend all night there reworking it. And Michael's like, why don't you go back to the hotel and get some rest? And JB's like, my heart's racing. I want to stick around. This is too much fun. And she's like, you know what? Wait a minute. Is it okay if I change one word? And what's Lindstrom's reaction to this?
Your tinkering is becoming tedious, Mrs. Fletcher.
Is what he dares say to the great JB Fletcher.
It's one word, bro.
Yeah, and JB's like, what is it about this that bugs you so much? Like, she cuts to his core, right? She's like, what is it you don't like about this? Is it the lack of control? And he goes, I'm glad you said that, because it is. I want to control everything.
It's interesting that he would admit it.
True. It's pretty, like, he's pretty self-aware for him to go, like, you're right, I do love ones and zeros. JB says, yeah, that sounds great if all I wanted was control.
Boom.
Another boom from JB.
Mm-hmm.
If control was what I lived for.
So JB is back in the VR booth. She's there to test it out. While she's playing the game, back with our love triangle, Kate, the one who's not so nice, says good luck to Michael, kisses him on the cheek.
And this is the first we've seen that she's even at all interested in him.
Well, we know that she's jealous that Sharon thinks she can get with him, right? Like, we know, but you're right. It's not like she's like going, I love him or something. Like,
no.
Her whole vibe is kind of she's a ball buster and like she wants to be in charge or something, I thought.
It's very unclear.
What do you think?
It's very unclear what her whole vibe is. And then in the end, it doesn't even matter.
I know. And it's when this kiss happens, the camera pans down, and who's watching the whole thing?
Sharon. She's
friggin' Sharon.
Steaming.
Yeah.
But he is like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he's clueless in all this. Like, he
doesn't care. He'll kiss whoever.
Yeah. Okay, so she goes in the game again. This is where we see our third Seinfeld, because we see Mickey.
Can't you just switch with another midget?
JB has notes, and she's going, yo, I can't open this door right here. What's the deal? And they're like, oh, there's nothing there. It's okay. It's not supposed to be there. And I liked this. I mean, it's a little nitpicky, but JB goes, that's not fair to the players.
No, they're going to think that there's something in there that they need to get to. That's bad writing if there's a door that you can't open. Now, I've played a lot of video games. There's plenty of things you can't do and open.
Yeah.
But
I was thinking about that. But specifically in a game about a murder mystery, and where apparently there's one room and one hallway.
Mm-hmm. She's like, they're going to think that that's significant, and it's not. And that's misleading.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, JB.
Yeah. Michael gets a call from the PI who says, dude, I saw someone else at this secret meeting. One, you got to worry about Lindstrom. He's totally up to something. But two, there's another dude that you got to be worried about, but I'm not telling you who unless you pay up.
Yeah.
We're talking a new case file, Mr. Burke. A sweeter pot.
You think that's fair of him? I think that falls under the same case.
It does.
He's doing it with that guy.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Yeah. Well, we find out this guy's a shyster because JB uses it against him later.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I hope that we get to that part someday.
Later, it's party time because they got the game done. And we know it because we start the scene, a close-up on a bottle of champagne being popped.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when you direct television, they hand you a book. And then it goes, how to start scenes at a party.
Mm-hmm.
It'll say, close-up on a bottle of champagne getting popped.
Totally.
How many scenes have you seen start like that?
I couldn't even count.
We go over to Kate, and she's giving a presentation to people of how the game works. And they've got it on display, too, don't they? They got the little gloves and the glasses. Then we pan over to JB, and yet again, she's explaining the difference between reading a book and playing a video game.
Endless.
In a novel, the author does get to direct the reader's attention, as opposed to this virtual reality game in which the player gets to make the choices.
So Michael confronts Lindstrom. What are you up to? Are you taking this to Redwood Concepts? And Lindstrom, ever the asshole, goes, why don't you go ask him? Because Redwood Concepts guy is at this party for some reason. Michael goes over there and says, how'd you get in here? Get out of here!
Get out before I have security throw you out.
She lets the one guy into the room and is explaining how it works. And she goes, now let's go over to the second room. Buzz the door. It's not working. What's going on here?
Won't open.
So they call over the intern Alex. And Alex says, I can't get her to work either. And Michael's like, well, pry that baby open. And he does. And what happens, Kate?
Lindstrom's dead body falls out.
Yeah, cut to commercial. Now, did you know it was Lindstrom?
No.
Me neither. This is where I was like, guys, the direction of this episode is trouble. Because one, that could have been a stuntman for one. Like he's wearing freaking glasses. I don't remember that he had this shirt on for one scene.
Yeah.
That's the only thing there to recognize him, right?
The staging was not great. The blocking was awkward.
No. So now we've got a dead body. Cut to commercial when we're back. We meet the detective. And I love a detective in an MSW. Sometimes they love JB and they want her help. Sometimes. For instance, when we talked about the other episode, remember the guy wanted her help?
Mm-hmm. Maybe if you could tag along with me, it would be useful.
We meet the detective at the crime scene. He talks soft and he's an asshole. This falls in the category of the detective that doesn't want any help. Now, eventually all these yahoos come around because JB rules and will eventually do their job for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I hated this guy off the bat. What'd you think of this detective? He's like, what are you doing out? This was great, though. This is what he says. What are you doing out here in the Valley of the Klingons? Say what?
Yeah, but it means Klingons.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, he meant that as a nerd thing.
No, he meant like clinging on.
Kate, I disagree. We're going to have to throw this to future Kurt. I think he meant it as a jab because they're these dorky Silicon Valley guys.
Okay.
And this will come up later on somebody's list, so I don't know, but we'll see.
I was wondering what a celebrity like you was doing here in the Valley of the Klingons.
Valley of the Klingons.
So he finds out about the source codes, and he's like, why doesn't anybody else know about him? This was the thing that Alex pops in, and he goes, oh, Lindstrom always had him on his person. He was totally annoyed about him.
Annoyed.
Everything stops dead in their tracks. Annoyed.
What?
And they go, huh? He goes, paranoid?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
He was totally annoyed about them. Paranoid.
And we love a Breves here.
We love Brevin, but this is just... What?
This ain't working. And then also Sharon offers up, when they're trying to figure out the time of death, Sharon offers up, well, he got a call around 4:45 or whatever. And the cops are like, okay, so that means that's the window that this happened.
I was coming out of the tape library and I checked my watch because I didn't want to be late for the preview.
But he says, well, it might be a hit then. He thinks it could be a paid killer because you guys sometimes will kill somebody with a spinning salad or a floppy disk. And now I ring the bell for a emphasis on the wrong syllable because he says floppy disk, not floppy disk.
Floppy disk.
I loved it. I said, dude, welcome to the list.
Every once in a while, one of you guys will flip out and attack somebody with a spinach salad or a floppy disk.
He goes to talk to Redwood guy, and he tries to pin it on him, right? He's like, you did it. And the guy's being totally like, yeah, I don't have an alibi, but you really think I'd be so dumb to do that? I was waiting for the cop to go, well, you did attempt murder once before.
Right.
Right?
He does have a history.
That's not mentioned, though. Not mentioned.
This was not a good episode.
No, but I agree with Eileen in that it's a fun watch because it's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
But while he's in there trying to pin it on him, his little buddy comes in and goes, dude, detective, we found the murder weapon in a bush outside. And guess what? It belongs to Michael Lindstrom. That's the dead guy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Then we're at JB's hotel room, and Kevin Sorbo is there because he's going to be taking her to the airport. And again, this is an exposition dump where he's explaining why he's screwed. Because the dead guy had the source codes and we don't know where they are. And he cannot make this game work without it. And again, it was like, guys, you're spending too much time on this. Explain the beeper thing again.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
He's like, we can't ever make changes in the future. We can't do updates.
Yeah.
We can't make another sequel. We can't do anything. And it's like, no one cares.
While they're talking, the detective comes in. And he's like, Jessica Fletcher, what are you doing here? She goes, I'm getting a ride to the airport. And he goes, well, you might want to take a cab. Because guess what? Michael, you're arrested for murder. We found your fingerprints all over this gun.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, the audience, we're going, yeah, we saw him pick it up.
Yeah, he's touched the gun. That doesn't mean anything.
He doesn't offer that up, though, at that point.
He says nothing.
I'd be screaming.
He doesn't even say, like, it wasn't me. You have the wrong guy. He says nothing. He looks guilty in that moment.
So now with Michael locked up, JB's got to solve it because that detective is like, done, it's done, I've solved it. And JB knows there's something else going on. So she goes to Kate's office and they look up. Michael has like his address book on his computer, in his system and stuff.
Porter Electrical, Porter Investigations.
Investigations. Dan Porter. That's it.
A private investigator?
And so JB hires this PI under false pretenses as well.
Oh, yes.
She makes him think that she wants to hire him, and he's pissed off about that, ain't he?
He is, because,
right?
He's not going to divulge other cases he's working on for other people. So I'm not mad at him for that.
Yeah, you're right. But then JB is like, hey, I found out that you extort and blackmail people. I bet the cops would like to find out about that. So now she's kind of...
So she extorts and blackmails him.
Yeah. So he finally cracks and spills the beans about the second person. It was David. They were going to sell this stuff. JB catches up with David in the parking lot, and he's like packing up his car. You betrayed Michael. And I love this because Michael goes, look, right. And I'm thinking he's going to explain himself. He goes, if you'll excuse me. Then he just leaves.
Look, you excuse me.
That's weird.
It's weird. And from this point on, I am completely lost.
You're right, though, because there's a lot of wild steps that happen to solve this murder.
Yes.
And JB goes, well, you're clearly worried that you're next, that this was a hit by Redwood. David kind of like opens up about it, and he says, this was great.
If anyone ever opened the door to James Lindstrom's head, I'd stake my life they'd have found that nothing was beyond the realm of possibility.
David peels out, and we get a classic JB thinking alone, wait a minute, open a door?
The door.
This reminds me of that door we couldn't open earlier.
The door. Of course.
And so now she's like, we got to see what's in that door. So this means we got to log in with Lindstrom's password, but not with the source codes. We'll still be able to figure this out. And she goes to Alex, the genius teen, where it's like, hey, story fixer, can you fix the story of this episode? And he goes, sure, I can crack the code. I can guess what Lindstrom's password is. And we see the screen, right? And he's like, is it this? Nope. And he goes, don't worry, I've got my own program here. And they do like a time fade, and we see like eating pizza and crunch cans and stuff. This is also classic, like, we've been on the computer all night.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I just can't do it. It's too hard. And JB goes, okay, let's work my human mind on this real quick. He's a genius, right? Well, sometimes genius people will make the answer the most simple thing. She's saying this, and it's like, okay, do they? Okay. And so she straight up first guess on the password, and she's right. Do you remember what the password was?
Open door.
Open door? What?
No, sorry.
Come on.
No.
No way.
I mean, what about something basic like open door?
That's it. We're in.
And they don't need the source code. This is the first time ever they've never needed it. I mean, they said all the times they explained how important the source code was, they can't do anything in the game without it.
Yeah.
And yet here they are going into the game without it.
Yeah, and we see JB in the booth again, and she opens this door. And this is another throw to commercial. What do they go out on? She opens the door, and what's in there? What's in there?
I don't even remember.
It's friggin' Lindstrom floating in the clouds.
Yeah.
Sitting cross-legged in his suit going like, haha, I put this here for hackers. So you're a hacker from the future. Here's a little riddle.
What purpose can be served by the mind of man that cannot be better served by the binary brain?
I hated this.
It was annoying as hell. And he goes, maybe you should get into meditation to figure it out. Cut to commercial. Oh, also, the very first thing he says, welcome to the mind of total paranoia. And I was waiting for Alex to say, don't you mean total noia? Right?
He was totally annoyed about them.
Okay, gets it.
Yeah.
No. This is, again, a wild jump. She says, okay, here's a plan. I'm going to call someone and tell them what the riddle was, and this will force their hand to come out of hiding and try and fix it with the source code.
Mm-hmm.
None of this makes any sense because we don't know who she calls yet.
No.
How does she know to call the person she calls?
Did she just call everybody?
No, they don't say that. She calls one specific person and then says...
So she already knew who did it and was just getting proof. But how would she have known? It's so random.
Exactly. And that's my problem with this, is that there are times when she's like, I know who did it, but I don't have proof. So I'm going to trick them into trying to fix it. This is classic TV detective work. But How did she get to that conclusion?
I guess it's just like the only person left that she hasn't dealt with so far in the story.
Yeah, and we're going to get to it very soon. But her reasoning has to do with those damn beepers, which is a flawed premise as well. So the story was wrong on this in so many ways. Okay, so she calls and says, he left a secret code to fix this or it's going to blow up. This virus is going to crash everything. It's what happens on the 23rd of 0114 on the butt of a stone or something. Some nonsense.
That's not what it is.
Other than the word butt, everything I just said is part of the clue, dog.
Okay.
It's weird.
It is weird.
Well, the riddle goes, when do 23 and 0014 combine to penetrate stone?
They cut to later that night. David comes into the office and we're going, uh-oh, looks like David's the killer. Mm-hmm. But while he's trying to type stuff on the computer, who do we see come in behind him, Kate?
Sharon.
Friggin' Sharon. Okay. And she's like, hey, what are you doing here? I want to save Michael too. And that she is very open at this point. She's like, okay, if David's here to fix it, that means that he's going to be cool with the fact that I murdered somebody. So she takes out the source code and is like, I got to plug this in or in 4 minutes it's going to explode. And he's like, oh, so you killed Michael. And now is when she goes crazy killer instantly because she's like, I saved Michael from this virus and now I'm going to save Michael from you. Pulls a gun out. And what happens then?
Everybody comes in.
The detective and JB hop out from the corner and go, put your hands up. These are the moments I love in these shows when I go like, you know, that gun was loaded, right? You guys should have done this a little earlier. Like it's always risky how far they let the killer get with their little scheme. And if I was David, I'd go, guys, you should have let me in on this because he didn't know.
No.
So now with her busted, one, she gives it up pretty easily. She like, a lot of times people are like, you don't have proof or whatever. But JB goes, this is the part of the episode where JB lays out how it all went down. And never more so than in this episode do we need it. I don't understand how she got to this conclusion. And we see like the flashback of it. She goes, well, Sharon did it because she went into Michael's office with gloves, got the gun, and then during the presentation, Lindstrom, for some reason, went up to the office and got in the VR booth. We don't know why, but he did. And that's when she went up there and shot him. Now, the reason why JB knows this is because early in the episode, Sharon had told the cops that Lindstrom got a page that he had a phone call waiting for him.
Mm-hmm. I was coming out of the tape library.
And JB's like, how would you have known that he got that call on the beeper unless you were within earshot of him? And she goes, you weren't coming out of the library. You had to be in the VR booth with him because you heard his beeper say, you have a call. And the only way you would know that is if you were there to kill him. And this is where I go, again, the flawed premise is killing it, you guys. Because how the hell would we know that was from the beeper and not the loudspeaker?
It's true.
Right? Oh.
It's so confusing.
It is so confusing. You're right when it must have been a pain in the ass in the edit bay later.
Oh, yeah.
But this was a weak-ass mystery. An excellent episode to make fun of. And a lot of, I mean, look, anytime we're looking at early 90s VR stuff, it's a blast.
Mm-hmm. And again, hardly a mystery because the murder happens 3/4 of the way through the episode.
Yeah, and she gets taken away, and you'd think we'd get a line from Kate or Sharon of like, well, now Michael's mine, or I guess you can have Michael now. But no, the episode ends with JB pontificating about the answer to the riddle. They're walking outside, right? And Michael's like, hey, thanks for saving my life and getting me out of jail and saving my company and stuff. JB goes, hey, you know, maybe the answer to the riddle is this. Well, do you think they can make a computer see the beauty in this simple flower? And then it's freeze frame. And I got to go, JB, they have no desire to do that.
That makes no sense.
They don't give a shit if a computer can feel stuff. They want the computer to make stuff for people to feel so that the computer can do it for free.
Right. So they can put people out of a job.
So on that bummer note, Kate is so pumped we're done. On to those lists.
Kate's unnamed list. Well, we got that blue Corvette convertible.
Yep. Car Kate. Count it.
And that's it.
On to Kurt's Kick-Ass List.
Kick-Ass List. Kick-Ass List.
The bridge is a reference to Star Trek and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll meet you on the bridge.
And him saying Valley of the Klingons.
Here in the Valley of the Klingons.
I 1,000% say that was a reference to nerds in the early 90s. Absolutely. I think Klingon is a shorthand for people who don't know Trek of how to talk about Trek. Would you agree with me there?
I do think Klingon is often used because it's probably the most recognizable Star Trek villain.
So that's why I'm adding it to the list. So final thoughts on this, Kate, for this first episode of Murder Mystery Recap.
Would not recommend.
I wouldn't recommend it if you're in it for a fun mystery. However, I would say absolutely recommend for the lulz at an early 90s VR thing. You know it's going to be hilarious.
Mhm.
And for those looks that JB was serving.
Those looks.
You've got to see her in the goggles and the gold necklace. I mean, she looks good. So I would say it's worth it for that 1,000%. But that wraps it up for our first episode here. You can recommend in the comments a murder mystery you'd like us to cover. We've got our own that we're going to do, but feel free to recommend. That's also an option. Shout out to Eileen for having us pick this and for allowing me to skip all the way to season 10 to see what's in store for me. Because again, I'm only in season 4 of MSW right now. So it was fun to see how the mighty have fallen by season 10. And I'm curious if there's still bangers up there, because that's the original team's not there. JB's only in half the episodes, I'm pretty sure.
But the budget's pretty big.
Yeah. The first credit is executive producer Angela Lansbury. That's not in the early seasons either.
That's always kind of a bad sign when
things are
your
different
main
now.
actor gets that EP cred.
That's true. All right. That's going to do it. I'm Kurt Money.
And I'm Kateline.